And I think that if we as practitioners do not begin to understand what youth culture is and these subcultures, then we're going to continue to have this disconnect and never be able to really service our youth.
I think if they would accept the kids as who they are and how they dress and the type of person that they are, that more youth would be willing to go. Like if they, you have to teach them. You can't, tell them, like this is what you cannot do. You have to show them why.
My name is Reverend Alfred Correa. I am the Regional Chaplain for New York State Office of Children and Family Services. I give oversight to the ministerial services downstate, a total of 6 residential facilities. So today we're going to have a series of interviews. We're going to be presenting to you what this youth chaplaincy program is all about. My responsibility is to ensure that these youth are being serviced in a way that would inspire and encourage them while they're in our facilities. What are some of the things that you could recommend to them so that they'll be mindful of in terms of youth culture and understanding youth in a postmodern context, like in the day that we live in today?
Not judging.
Not judging? Okay.
Not judging. Listen, understand.
Listen. Okay.
Don't be quick to judge and question. Just, like listen out, ask them questions.
Okay.
Find out the reason.
Okay. And how about youth in the church? Do you think the church has too much of a demand on youth and how they should be?
I think they want them to know everything too fast. Good.
That's really good.
They want them to hurry up and grow up church-wise.
Wow, I like that a lot. What do you think that you're going to be able to get out of the Youth Chaplaincy Certification Program, and what is it that you've learned over the last sessions that you've been a part of?
Well, I've definitely learned that listening is the greater part of listening, because in my listening, I hear what's being said and what is not being said, and if I understand the language or the culture, then I could put into what's being said, what's missing. I know that if I learn myself, because I ask myself that question, I need to learn the lingo, I need to learn, because I know that there's qualities inside of me that I have, but there's other things that I need to enhance. But eventually, if we can reach the few that we reach, we'll reach a few more.
The point of this youth chaplaincy program, we have to learn as the adults, or the gap in between church and youth, how to have the youth learn to accept or to identify with. And the same thing for the church. The church also, as Kimberly stated, has to learn how to draw the youth in without being judgmental and having these supposed standards that the youth has to identify with.
But we talked about how formation will be the essence of this process. The chaplain versus chaplaincy. And we talked about some of the characteristics necessary or needed, or the skill needed, in order for the chaplain to be what? One, non-judgmental. The chaplain needs to be what? Non-judgmental. What else was it? A good listener, open-minded, objective. Right? Remember those words?
Becoming a Christian and everything that I've learned so far, I am still kind of messed up on the transgender.
Okay.
I'm still like waiting for an answer. I don't know if it's from this, I don't know if it's God, I don't know if anyone here can answer me.
Our theology needs to be informed by our praxis, and our praxis needs to be informed by our theology. They're constantly informing one another. Because at the point where my theology becomes the essence of the conversation, and I forget about the person who's in front of me, then I lost the opportunity of servicing that person and understanding that person's needs. When the individual began to talk about their personal experience, it almost kind of became a personal, you became inquisitive as to how can you experience the pain of a woman? Is this what you really want? I heard that. How many of you heard it? Yeah. Right? And so for me, it now became more about you than it was the individual. Say with me. The discomfort that it brought, that this young man now wants to feel like a woman, or even says that it feels like a woman, made you so uncomfortable that that became the focal point. Not once have I heard anybody say that that young person said that the mother was not there in their life, that the father was an addict, that felt ostracized. Not once have I heard anybody talk about that. That's the issue. Remember we talked about how did we exercise the skills? Did we listen to that? So I think what I'm trying to say is, let's be sensitive and let's try. Let's try not to impose our views, our ideas, until we have carefully done an analysis and an assessment of who we're working with. We need to understand that our job is not to wrestle against theologies. It's not to wrestle with ideals. It's not to have bantage of who's right and who's wrong. We're servants. Servant leaders. So I hope you enjoy it, and we thank God for you listening to this video to participate in the Youth Chaplaincy Certification Program, where we train the practitioner on how to work with youth that are incarcerated and youth that are unchurched. If you have this video in your hand, it's because it could be a divine appointment, a kairos moment where God can use you to make a difference in the life of the youth. God bless you.